opting out. Good men are opting out of relationships. Good men are opting out of partnerships. Good men are just catching flights and going somewhere else. So, what is it? What is it? I think a big part of this is, why do good men keep getting used? Hold on, let me get a microphone. Yes, this is one for the men. I want to know, and I'm all for. I want to hear women's opinions. I'm completely okay with hearing women's opinions. I think it's extremely valuable, because this is a topic that I think we should all be having a conversation about. And I know it seems at times like, if you're a woman in particular, that it's none of your business. Who cares? Who cares about good men? Who cares if there are good men here, or good men there, good men getting used, or good men still in the fight, still in the good fight? Who cares? Right? Because at the end of the day, if you got yours, or if you're not at that space and time in life where you really care, that's a concern of yours, because you're on your money, you're on your hustle, you're on your grind, you're not the least bit concerned about those things. Well, okay, that's fine, completely okay. This conversation would not be for you, that's for sure. But I do believe, from my experience personally, being a good man, that good men are going through a lot right now. And the biggest thing that is needed for society at large is for good men to be taken seriously, to be appreciated for who they are and what they're actually bringing to the table. There's a psychological set that comes along with this. There's a mindset that comes along with seeing a good man, knowing he's a good man, and then trying to take advantage of that good man. That's not just someone who says, "What's up, Brandon?" That's not just someone that says, "I enjoy this man." That's not just someone that says, "I value this man. I'm grateful for this man." That's someone that says, "I'm going to take full advantage of this man. I'm going to take full advantage of this man. I'm going to abuse this man." I have been in those relationships. They were short-lived, typically, but they were very, very real. And in seeing it for what it was, and understanding that this is not where I want to be. This is not the situation I should be in. Well, I made the decision to walk away. Yes, Luna. She said she bets my sex life is beautiful. My sex life is absolutely beautiful, because I'm celibate. Most people don't know that, now you do. I make a major point in my life to focus on the better things. Not saying that sex isn't a better thing. It is. It's fantastic. But there's so much more to life. There's so much more to life than sex. So much more. And for a long amount of time, since you brought it up, right, Luna, since you brought it up about sex life, it took me a number of years. I mean, I'm talking about like the other day, not so much the other day, but just a few years ago, before I realized this is not leading me anywhere. And at some point in time, you have enough. You get enough sex, you have enough interactions, you just don't need to go that way. Especially as a good man. Especially as a good man, because as a good man, you give out, and this is something I completely undervalued when I was in my past couple of relationships, or situationships even. I completely undervalued that I give out husband energy. I want to take care of you. I want to buy you lingerie and nice outfits. If I see a pair of nice stilettos and I'm out, I'm going to buy them for you, because I want you to wear them around me. If I see some beautiful lingerie, best believe I'm going to buy it for you, right? If I'm out and I'm having a good meal, if there's something that I find to taste delicious or exceptional, and I know you love to cook, you can bet your butt and your bottom dollar that I'm bringing that food home and say, "Baby, try this. What you think?" I brought enough for you to get full off of, and enough for you, and a little extra for you to taste, because I want us to cook this thing at home. So the sex life is always going to be good for a man who's genuinely interested, genuinely invested, genuinely wanting a good relationship, right? Whatever that relationship capacity looks like, whatever that interaction looks like, however in depth that is. For me, though, I had realized some years ago that it was just too much. I was doing too much. I was wanting too much. And I was doing an amazing job making beautiful wives. I made some wives out here. I can tell you that for a fact. As a good man, I made some wives out here because I'm not, keep in mind, not only am I genuinely a good person, I pride myself on being a good man. I pride myself on being intellectual. I pride myself on being a problem solver. I pride myself on being a provider, a caretaker. I pride myself on those things. And I also, most importantly, pride myself on improvement, self-improvement in particular. So as a good man, when it comes to us as good men, we're always wanting to improve ourselves. We're always wanting to be better today than we were yesterday, and tomorrow than we were today. We're always trying to improve ourselves. We're always trying to position ourselves so that we can be proud. When I'm being good to my woman, when I'm being good to my child, when I'm being good to my mother, my sisters, my brothers, my father, I feel good about myself. That's the sense of pride that I feel, that I know I'm helping. I know I'm assisting. I know that I've become a better man in the service of others. That's the disposition of a good man. You want to be in service of other people, of other good people. So it's critical that, like good women, good men are protected. And again, this is coming from a man who has opted out of relationships. I've opted out of dating. I've opted out of sex. I'm cool. I'd rather just create an impact. So I can speak from a position of, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to the grave like this. What I am saying is that I become hyper selective, knowing that I'm giving out all the husband energy in the world, and I'm out here making wives. I'm making women incredibly better. Every woman I've dated, if she was a little overweight, I can guarantee you she's average. My average on losing weight is probably 20 pounds, 20, 30 pounds. Because I like my women typically a little more thick, a little more curvy, but also fit. So if the thickness and the curves are there, and I'm just like, well, we just got to get you tight, get you in shape. No problem. I can tell you for a fact that I made many wives out here, and I know this for a fact. Why? Because I know 5 on the top of my head that a relationship later, or 2 relationships later, they were married. And I know with me, they were very different. They might have been difficult. They might have been argumentative. They might have been combative. They might have been violent. They might have been, a little thicker, than they were, but certainly thicker. There's one woman I remember in particular. She was beautiful, beautiful, Brittany. I call her Big Booty Brit. There's a lot of Britneys out there, so you'll never be able to narrow her down. But Brittany, absolutely gorgeous. And Brittany, I met her when she was probably technically like 40 pounds overweight. I didn't give a damn. Brittany to me looked like a chocolate, curvy Claire Huxtable. Woo, with the short hair. Oh my God, let's go. Brittany ended up losing like 45 pounds. Yeah, and listen, keep in mind, I bet her 45 pounds heavier and was like, you're beautiful. Them curves hitting all the way right. Texas curves hitting all the way right. You probably lose 10 pounds max, 15 really, and I'm cool. She kept losing and it kept slimming in the right places. I was like, wow, your body is absolutely incredible. It's insane that you would ever let yourself fall out of this shape. She got there. She was amazing. So the question then is, well, why didn't it work? There were several reasons, one of which I couldn't take as a good man. I couldn't take as it had nothing to do with the part of being a good man. It just has to do with my temperament. In my case, I cannot deal with a babbler. I cannot deal with somebody who babbles, and someone also who has a like advanced ADD. I can't. If you're all over the place, it gets me to be all over the place. It's not good for me. Amazing woman, and I would not be surprised if she's married now with an amazing husband, probably a kid. But I can tell you, as a good man, being needed is not the same as being loved. She was not one who I felt like she was needing me, but I have been in relationships in the past where the feeling was very much, I need you. Oh, my car is down, my tire is down, my situation is this, my circumstance is that. And after a while, you start to feel like, okay, why is it the only time I ever hear from this woman is when she needs something, is when there's a problem, as if I don't have feelings. Surprise, I'm human. Surprise, every man is. And so after a while, when you feel like you're just a utility, you're just a tool, well, then as a good man, the best thing you can do for yourself is learn that you're now in a space of outside your standard. You're outside your standard. You're outside what you know is what you're worthy of. And so now the question comes, regardless of how great the sex is, regardless of how beautiful the woman is, regardless of how much chemistry there may be, if you get to the point where you feel like a man, a good man, gets to the point where he feels like it's now a question between my integrity, who I am, what I stand for, because I feel like this woman is definitely using me as a tool and a utility, a resource more than a love, more than object of her affection, right? It can't just be a transactional exchange. If it feels like that, then what's the difference between you and a prostitute? What's the difference between you and just some old random 25-year-old, some old random 20-year-old who needs $200? What's the difference, right? There has to be something that feels authentic, something that feels like love, something that feels like value, real value, a value exchange, and not just transactional. It doesn't make sense if it's that way. And if it doesn't make sense, then I'm gonna get out and go somewhere that does make sense, even if that go somewhere just means by myself, which I've done many a times. Why? Because I love myself. I've learned to truly value myself, as you should as well, as you should. Learn that who you are is when you've done the actual work. You're not just beautiful because you say so, right? You're not just amazing because you think so. Everybody wakes up in the mirror and should feel that kind of way. But it's the work that you've done. It's the effort that you've put in. It's the lives that you change. If you know genuine, you are that person making that difference, then you should make every effort to honor yourself, honor the integrity of who you are, honor your spirit. The way you do that is by walking away from those things and those people that don't serve you. If anything makes you understand we're only here one time, right? I'm not saying I don't believe in reincarnation. I do. I do, in fact. However, my parents won't be here again. My grandparents are long gone, right? My great-grands, that lineage will not be here again. You're doing this one time. Why would you spend a minute of your energy? This goes for man and woman, of course. This goes for humans. Why would you spend a minute of your energy with anyone who makes you feel less than the value that you are? That's not being good to yourself. You're being good to everybody else but yourself. That doesn't even make sense. Why would you do that? Where's the self-love? Where's the self-love? Where's the loyalty to you? So what I'm speaking of right now in regards to my Brother Earth, to the space that I am, I'm naturally Brother Earth. Some of you know what that is, Brother Earth. I wrote 4 books in reference to the archetypes. Feel free to look them up in the link somewhere around here. One of the archetypes is Brother Earth. There's Brother Flame, which is those who are hotheads. I got that too. And there's Sister Sky and Sister Flow. There is to say that everyone has a dominant archetype. That is a personality type. That is the type of person that is the core of who you are, how you navigate life, how you see the world. And then you have other aspects of you, secondary and tertiary, right? You may be primary Sister Flow, for example, but secondary, you might have Brother Flame. It happens where you're so loving, you're so giving, you're so sharing, you're so nurturing. When things don't go your way, then the flame kicks in. And now you're aggressive. Now you're vindictive. Now you're petty, right? So what I found as a Brother Earth in my Brother Earth space, now, again, depends on the day you catch me. It depends on the situation, because you might get a Brother Flame. But what I found is that I got used oftentimes through the overgiving, through the patience, through the guilt, through carrying other people's responsibilities. other people's responsibilities, taking them on as my own. You understand that's the ultimate gift. That's the ultimate gift to any taker, is to find someone, myself, who's a giver. And that giver wants to give. The taker wants to take. So naturally, I'm going to overgive. Naturally, I'm going to be extra patient because I feel like that when there's no reciprocity, I'm going to wait. I'm going to exchange and have a conversation and be unreasonably patient to certain points because you're expecting that person to meet you where you're at when they're not. If I'm a brother Earth and she's a sister Sky, for example, in her shadow, well, she's a narcissist. And that's not the kind of person you can be with. That's not something you can sustain. It's just not even possible. A healthy relationship. It's just not possible. Carrying other people's responsibilities is always an issue because it's your life. Again, you won't be here again. So you have to be mindful of where you're exhausting your energy, who you're giving your love to, who you're giving your attention to, who you're giving your energy and motion to. Emotion. Who are you giving that to? What exchange are you getting in return? And I'm obviously not talking about monetary exchange. I mean, energetic exchange. You should feel the love the same way they feel the love. Why would you want anything less? Understanding someone's trauma does not excuse their repeated behavior. I found this to be a massive issue in my past. And I share these things because I have a plethora of experience and a variety of different lifetimes. And throughout these different lifetimes, there have been a number of common denominators, right? Common behaviors from me and common interactions and reactions from others. Women. I only date women. I've only ever dated women. So, and what I found is that because I'm able to, as I mentioned earlier, with Big Booty Brit, understand people's trauma. I knew where she was coming from. I knew why her mind was the way she was. I knew why she, in some ways, acted the way she acted. Never negative, never deliberately toxic, never that. Again, just scattered and confused at times and afraid at others and overdramatic at others. Understanding someone's trauma in their background and their history, you become more patient, more tolerant, more compassionate. And so that's more of your energy and motion that you're putting into that person. Because you're putting more energy and motion into that person, you're also becoming more invested, energetically invested, emotionally invested, whatever you want to call it. And with that, you tend to open the door to those issues, their issues being yours. You tend to adopt their issues as your own because you're a protector and a provider. Remember that husband energy I spoke about earlier? Gentlemen, Brother Earths, do that with your wives. Do that with the women who you are sure are investing in you in a way that feels mutually respectful. Reciprocity. Energetic reciprocity is what it's called. Brother Earth, the best woman you can date is a sister flow. A sister flow will adapt with you. A sister flow will have the conversations. A sister flow wants to have the conversations. She wants to know how to adjust to you. But you first have to have your order. You first have to have your structure. You first have to have your things together on a foundational level. I'm not saying you need to be a rich man. It's very hard for any woman to exclusively lock down a rich man because he's already got it. What do you need you for? But it does help when you build with him and you see that he has a foundation and you're able to support that structure. It's not to say that's the only structure that has to exist. You have a structure of your own. However, these good men are rare and increasingly rare. When you find yourself one, don't let them go because good men are getting used all over this country. And many more in increasing numbers are opting out of dating. They're opting out of even dealing. They're opting out of even the conversation. We're just retiring happily and catching flights somewhere else. I can catch a flight somewhere else. I can hang out in Costa Rica for 2 weeks and come back and I'm good for about 3-4 months because you get genuine appreciation. And it really is not about the sex. It's just about the appreciation. And yet it's transactional, but at least it's a transaction with someone that values their job. They come in dressed up. They come in, she's given the right attitude. She's given the right personality. It's the kind of attention that I want and the kind of company that I want to be around. What's it cost me? $50 for the day? Again, I'm not the least concerned about the exchanging of or whatever she's dealing with internally, biologically, because I'm not going there anyhow. I just want the good company. I appreciate the good company. And I appreciate the nature. I appreciate the beaches, all those things I can have in one place. Well, then I'll just catch a flight. And I don't have to deal with the stress. I don't have to deal with the drama. I don't have to deal with the arguments. What man does? Good men being used up after a while, we're going to find another place to be good, whether it's good to mom, whether it's good to grandma, whether it's good to our daughters or our sons, or whether it's good to a community. We're going to find somewhere else to be good to. Most good men, in particular, Brother Herbs, are so giving, they tend to forget themselves. They tend to take on other people's trauma and drama, forgetting their own and excusing all of the repeated abuse, all of the repeated toxicity, all of the repeated behaviors that are not benefiting you whatsoever. That in and of itself is self-sabotage. It's self-sabotaging for a man to do that. There's something lacking in his self-worth. There was something lacking in mine. There were many things lacking in mine at the time. You wouldn't tell from the outside, but internally, mind, heart, spirit, most certainly. When you're dealing with a healed, healthy man, he's not going to tolerate those things. He's not going to even entertain them, let alone forget dating, forget marrying. Good men are extremely hard to find, and they should be valued because they will do each and everything for you. When a good man gets in a position of power and authority, a good man, all he wants to do is give. All he wants to do is help. Why wouldn't you want to encourage that behavior? Why wouldn't you want to embrace that? Why wouldn't you want to love that? That's a society I think we should be living in. Helping should create growth, not permanent dependence. Helping. When you're a good woman, helping with a good man, it's the same for you as it is for men. Helping as a good man should most certainly, as a good man, should create growth. Every bit of assistance that you're giving means that you are not just investing in that other person, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself because every exchange is another rung on the ladder of growth. Because you're investing in good people, and good people are investing back in you. That is critical. That is what is most important. And as you continue to feed into that growth, to that person, feed into that evolution of that person too should be evolving and growing into you. It should never feel as though there's a disconnect between your growth and that person's stagnation. As a good man, if you're feeding into a woman and you're not feeling growth, you're simply feeling an exhaustion. She's not going anywhere. She's not doing anything different than what she's already done. She's not putting in the same equal efforts. Well, what are you doing? Where's your self-worth? Where's the love for yourself? A boundary without consequences is only a suggestion. Men, when you're in a position where you realize that woman may be not what is best for you, simply establish boundaries, tighter boundaries, to say these things I will do, these things I will not. If she goes above and beyond to make sure those boundaries are respected, don't be so quick to cut her off. Have real conversations, endure longer, find out where the disconnect is, and then feed more into that gap to bridge it. However, if she cannot respect your boundaries, if she somehow gets off on crossing boundaries. I know a woman exactly like this. There's something that she gets from crossing lines. That is a toxic woman. That is a toxic woman. And you should move on. That's a toxic relationship. She will drain your energy. She will drain your life force. People like, how you stay so young? I avoid the drama, period. I will swap you out in a minute, ma'am. I'm not playing these games. And when you're with the right woman, I want to love you for life. But what I don't want, and this is one rule that I established many years ago, I violated it a couple times. Not that I meant to, but I did. And that is, I want to stay in a relationship as long as it's healthy. And I want to get out of it before I'm traumatized. If it's spiraling down, I want to get out of it before I'm traumatized, because I don't want to carry that pain over into the next relationship. Right? If I get into another relationship with a good woman and I can't see her clearly because I'm traumatized by the last crazy chick I was with, well, I'm going to miss a phenomenal opportunity, because I know good women are rare as well. Right? The pattern also affects you in business. Undercharging, free labor, bad partnerships, and unpaid debts. All of these things align to the same man who's overgiving, the same man who's doing too much, the same man who doesn't decide that he's a priority in his own life. Number one, what I had to learn is that as a good man, my inclination is to give. What I'd learned is to shift that into receiving. I don't have to concern myself. Good men, I'm speaking to you. You don't have to concern yourselves with, are you doing enough for her? As a good man, you are. It's your nature. Most likely you're overgiving. So the only question is she doing enough for you? When you ask yourself that question and you feel the response is, hell yes, she's amazing, you got gold. However, if you got to stop and think, if you have to truly ponder and consider, you might want to also consider walking out the door. You might want to also consider, at the very least, having a conversation, telling her again where those boundaries are, asking her again, having a conversation with her again and letting her know what's missing, what's lacking. You have to know, as a good man, what's missing in your life, what's missing in the relationship. That comes with knowing yourself. That comes with knowing what pleases you and what doesn't. So if you can't have that conversation, by the way, that's on you. That's a communication issue that you have to work out. Don't think that in this 2026 you can get along in any relationship by just being quiet. Nobody reads minds. Men don't read women's minds. Women don't read men's. Men don't read men's. Don't read men's. Women don't read. Nobody's reading anybody's mind here. So you got to have the real conversation. If you're having that conversation, those boundaries are constantly being violated, you're dealing with a very toxic, venomous woman. You need to move on. The goal is not to become cold. Don't mistake me when I say move on. Keep in mind what I said before. I move on before the trauma. It's spiraling down. I got to go. Again, didn't work out a couple times, but nobody's perfect. Just get back up on that horse and make sure you continue on. Deal with the trauma, heal, learn the lesson. That's how you heal. And then you move forward. You move onward to being the better person, to being the better man for the better relationship that is coming. Why? How do you know the good relationship is coming? Because you're doing the work and God is real. Believe it or not, kids, God is real. That's why there's no reason to become cold. There's no reason to become selfish. It's just a matter of becoming more discerning. More discerning. Listen, understand, explore, evaluate. Make sure that what it is you are getting from the relationship is what you want from the relationship. And before you go giving away all that husband energy, make sure that she's giving wife energy. Most of these women nowadays, modern women, yes, I said most, I said what I said, don't know how to be wives. Because most of them didn't have a mother that was a wife. She couldn't show you. She couldn't teach you. Grandma, where was she? Nowadays, what are the mothers looking like? Are they looking like wives? Most of them? I don't think so. I can tell you, as a man who's been out there and has a variety of options, I tend to opt out. It's just not worth it. After 2 or 3 dates, 2 or 3 conversations, so we ain't even got a date. Just have the conversation, you realize, oh, wow, man, you are not a wife. You look like one, but you can have the conversation and realize, wow, this is crazy. Good men have to move differently. Good men, in order to survive the storm of the 20 years that have now passed, have to move in a way that is mindful, defensive, not in a way that is cold or harsh, but your shield has to be up to have the conversation and make sure that this person is not coming to use you, abuse you, exhaust you to your death, then discard you. This is the reality. So I'm going to answer some questions now. What's up, Brandon? I know you're there. What's going on, buddy? Hey, Jenny. I'll say hello to a few of you here. Hey, Jenny. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. We've got like between 3 different platforms, well over 300 people. So what's going on, Luna? Welcome. Hey, Dirk. Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you as well. I am not from Memphis. And no, I don't live in Memphis, but yes, I am Buddha. Nice to meet you, man. Where have I been? Healing. Somebody said, how are your kids? I don't have kids. Plural, no. My daughter's amazing, though. Yes, I did used to act. I did. So, hey, Nancy. Hey, so you used to date a good man. And you feel like, oh, you lost him. I understand. And that's a regret that you have there. Jessica says the same. Yeah, I understand. I understand. The problem is, once you have a good man, it's tough, man. It's tough when you lose them because it's no different than losing your youth. Listen, I'm 46. By the time you get to a certain age, you look back and you realize, man, youth is wasted on the young. When I was 26, if I'd have known this. When I was 36, if I would have known this. You always think, man, if I could just get that time back. But the reality is you can't. It's not the same. It's like trying to walk into a river and get the same sensation, going to the same spot, same location, but a different season, a different time. Even the next year, the same season, it's still a different time. The ebb and flow has changed. So even when you try to get back with that man, the ebb and flow has changed. His affection for you, his appreciation for you, the love that he had for you, now there's an asterisk next to it. There's an asterisk. And so in every exchange that you're having with him, the feeling is that every time, that eyebrows up every time. In his mind, he's like, okay, I see you moving now, but how long is this going to last? And he's waiting for that one time. It's no different than a man cheating on a woman. Like if she's genuinely thinking that you're fully faithful and loyal and there's no possibility whatsoever when she finds that out and for some reason accepts you back, bruh, you living through hell. You living through hell. Because she's going to have her eyebrow up every time you say you got to work late. Every time you say you're going to meet up with your boys. Every time you're gone for a little too long and she can't get you on the phone or the text was a little delayed. You might as well move on, man. That relationship is gone. You're not going to get it back. So yeah, I understand. When you lose a good man, it's only a matter of time before you realize that you lost one because time has passed and experience has taught you better, right? The equivalent of being older and looking back saying, man, if only I knew that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is being 2-3 relationships down the road and realizing, my God, that guy, Ezra, from 3 relationships ago was absolutely amazing. I did not appreciate him. I did not realize he was so amazing until I dated the rest of these jokers. You know how many women I've had make a U-turn and come back? That's not braggadocious. That's just saying when the ship is sailed, it's gone. And it's so easy to not appreciate or undervalue a good man. Why would you want to do that? I don't think, and good women, of course, it's the same thing. Right now we talk about the men, but good women, of course. Let me answer some more questions. I'm sorry for your loss, but listen, you know better now. And if you do, if your mentality is proper, Jessica, if your mind is aligned correctly, and you've made the proper adjustments, then finding another good man is not going to be a problem for you. Just make sure you stay in shape. I get that as well. I get that as well. Someone says, hey, well, you know, when you get older, people only care for you and your money. That's true to a certain degree. But again, that's only when you're dealing with people of that type, of that kind of personality type. And I can tell you, back when I would date younger women, some of the best relationships I had were with younger women. It really didn't have to do with the money. It just had to do with they had an energy of fun, exciting, outgoing energy. And I had a mature, grown, stable disposition. And so the dynamic worked. For me, it just, you know, I just don't like dating younger women. Like 25 is just too young. You know, 30 is too young. I'm just like, this is just, nowadays, 40-year-old women act like they're 20. So if I'm dating a 30-year-old woman or a 25-year-old woman, sometimes they act the same as a 40-year-old, which is the same level of maturity, and sometimes they act even younger. You know, especially nowadays, different generations. So for me, it's I much prefer, honestly, grown-ass women. So Sahara says, I'm the one that pays for everything, and with no sex, shake my head. I'm just a good person. Sahara, you are good and you are exceptionally rare. And why are you paying for everything? In this 2026, no one should be paying for everything. I don't think any man should be paying for everything. I don't think any woman should be paying for everything. I think you should establish what that relationship dynamic is, what's fair. For men, I say this. You got a good woman if she likes to take you out. That's amazing. I've been with women like that who are fantastic. Just givers, natural givers. And they have it, so they're like, that's not a problem. I would take my girl. They would take their girlfriends out anyhow. So they're like, I'd rather be with you than my girlfriend. So come on. That's what's up. I love that. And that's a beautiful thing. But men, I would suggest that you're with a woman. Your expectation is that, and this is answering Chris's question here as well, and also dealing with Sahara. It's the same thing. 1/quarter. So 1 out of every 4 times you guys go out, she should be paying. She should be offering to pay it. That's 25%. 25% of the time, she's paying for a bill. And for me, I rarely care like where you take it. We can go get some burgers. Really, I don't even eat that much. So we can go somewhere nice or somewhere. Listen, you can't go wrong with me and Velvet Taco. I'm taking the tofu tacos all day long. This is delicious. You had those before? Those are amazing. Or Cheesecake Factory. Listen, remember for a minute, not too long ago, they were saying Cheesecake Factory was like, who's gonna take me to a Cheesecake Factory? That's a cheap date. I'm like, are you kidding me? Every woman that's taken me to a Cheesecake Factory has gotten some major pipe afterwards. What? Are you kidding me? I love Cheesecake Factory. It's crazy. There was a point in time where I was working at a company and they were paying for me to travel. And everywhere I traveled, everywhere I went, I would find either a Chili's or a Cheesecake Factory, usually a Cheesecake Factory, until I started getting chunky. And I was like, nah, I got to stop this. That was 25, many years ago. Men, remember the goal is not to become cold. It's not to become cold. The goal is to have an increasing level of awareness, not to exhaust your energy. The women out there who are like Sahara, you too, don't give yourself the opportunity to become cold, to become traumatized by men who don't value you, by or women, whoever it is you date. I don't give a damn. I shouldn't know who you're sleeping with. I don't think anybody should, but that's my opinion. Regardless, you're dealing with a human. Don't let anyone traumatize you. Don't let anyone abuse you. Don't let anyone take full advantage of you. Without you receiving some, there should be some reciprocity. There should be some love and exchange. You should be feeling that each and every moment, not every moment, but each and every day. There shouldn't be a gap, is what I'm saying. I'll answer more questions. Hey, Estella, nice to see you as well. Hey, Tricky, thanks. Tricky, interesting name. Oh, if that's your husband, it's a different deal. And she says, you've been dating him for years, so it's hard to walk away. That's adorable. Either one, he lands some good pipe, let's be honest. Or two, you're afraid. Most likely well, I can't say what most likely is. But all the great pipe in the world does not mean you should be in a draining relationship. Financially draining relationship. I can tell you, from my own experience, I've seen amazing women married for years to narcissists. Years, decades to a narcissist. Always feeling like he was the prize for no other reason than he had something dangling between his legs. Wasn't making more money, wasn't doing more work, wasn't nothing extra. The expectation was just that, well, I'm helping you with your kids. I'm the prize. This is what the trade-off is. And that was their exchange. But in the end, while she maintained her glorious, luxurious heart and soul, she lost years. Years. No one should. I know another man, good man, Darren, same type of situation. He excused his woman being explosive. He didn't think it was that big of a deal. This is many, many years ago. He didn't think it was that big of a deal. Except her explosiveness became the norm. And you teach people how to treat you. He taught her that being hit, being yelled at in public, being screamed at in private was okay. Well, Darren, to this day, has a scar here. This eye cannot see. And his ex-girlfriend is in prison. One day, Darren was sleeping. She thought he was doing something wrong and hit him with an iron. Yes, an iron. It was not hot, but it was an iron. Well, she was wrong in her assumption. He cracked his face. He had his face cracked and lost an eye. Yeah, she got 10 years. It's not a game. And it's wild because, I think the real issue is that so many of us don't realize how quickly life can change. It's just one incident, one situation. We think it's like 300. There's going to be, a big war and we're going to see it coming and, theme music when something that changes our life happens. Not realizing sometimes it's just a subtle thing. Sometimes it's just one warning, one thing that you didn't check, one situation that you didn't regulate, that you could have. You knew it was an issue. You knew there was a situation, but you kept disregarding it. And in a way, disrespecting it. Because if you, as a good man, don't respect serious situations, then what you're doing is effectively challenging it. You're challenging that situation to try you. And we all know if you mess around, you find out. I'm going to answer some more questions here. What's up, Reed? Nice to see you as well. Thank you. I take good care of my teeth. It's important. What up, Bobby? Christian, hey, Christian, I see you. Yeah, man. Have we met in Wyoming? I have never been to Wyoming, my friend. But thank you. Josh, hey, buddy. Sean, you thought I was lying? I am 46. Yes. Sometimes I'll what do you call it? Dye my grays. Never black though. That's why I didn't have my goatee when I was younger. You see on the show, I didn't have a goatee. I didn't like a black goatee. When I grew it out one time, I was like, oh, this looks so cheesy. I cut it off. It's not until I grew it getting older when I was like, oh, what's this? I was like, I like this. And so every now and then I'll dye it a little bit less, a little less gray, maybe like 20% less gray. I'll leave it on for literally like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, wash it off because that's it. That's about it. My God, Candy Care says, I love your face. Thanks. I don't think I've ever gotten that compliment before. She said, you don't believe there's many good men. So maybe I should add a caveat here. The good men, first off, there has to be a certain age cap on this. I didn't say good boys, and I'm not talking about young men. I'm not. I'm talking about men 30 and older. And I have to say that because a lot of women, men do this as well, but we tend to get over it because we have harsh friends around us. Straight men tend to get over it faster. And why is that? Because straight men tend to be more manly men, the manly man type of men. We just kind of move on past that now. You know, gay dudes tend to be a little more sensitive and petty and argumentative, so they'll hold on to things because they just got big hearts. They tend to hold on to emotions like their mothers typically. And that's just statistically, that's not just me speaking. You can Google it yourself. But I think as a person who is, oh, what's up? Hey, you, Jay. No, I was not talking about you, Jessica, the other Jessica. If there's a long distance situation, a long distance relationship, well, you wouldn't be in an abusive relationship. It's long distance, right? I hope not. Somebody talking crazy on the phone, you better hang up. Listen, I kid you not, this happened to me recently. I told you about that hyper selective sexual thing with me, right? That hyper selective thing for me. It's like I'm not about being all out in these streets. I kind of used to be. Like if you was fine, I was in Hollywood. If you was fine and hey, we protected about to get our freak on, let's get it popping, man. You down for being that? Let's do that. Nah, man. When I was a boy, I spoke as a boy, I acted as a boy, I thought as a boy, I spoke as a boy. When I became a man, I put away childish things. So when you put away the childish things, you should move past that, right? And so one of the things that I learned in being in a new mind, in a new space, to become hyper selective. And being that hyper selective, I say, okay, the woman has to look a certain way. I love what I love, and she has to have a personality of a certain type. I met a woman who I didn't know much about her personality. We just hit it off very quickly. The conversation, we were at like a bar, it was during the day, so it was like a lunch type thing. We just happened to be at this bar at the same time, getting the food because the food was good, and we ended up exchanging conversation, and she was spitting, let's say. So, needless to say, that day we end up doing what adults do. just is what it is. Again, I didn't really get to know her like that. We hadn't had much phone conversation. In fact, she had a boyfriend, so I wasn't trying to get in the middle of that. But what ended up happening is the second time I went to go see her, went over her place. Something similar happened from the first time I went over, which was I noticed that there was a hostility. I didn't know what the hostility was about the first time. I just let it go because I felt like she'll be all right once she gets this pipe. She'll calm her ass down, and she did. But this second time, there was a different level of hostility, almost to the point like something else was going on. So I was only at her place for probably maybe 7 minutes. And this was the exchange. I walked through the door, and I'm just talking about toxicity, how you need to recognize these things, recognize their energy, and just walk away. It's not worth it. What do I have to lose? I just lost 20 minutes driving over here, man. I'm not gonna lose, in 7 minutes dealing with whatever the hell you're going through. I'm not gonna lose one more minute. I'm gonna get out of here. So I walked through the door, didn't get a hug. I thought that was strange because I hadn't spoken to her or saw her in like a month. But I'm like, okay, well, I don't get a hug. That's what's up. She said, well, you're kind of demanding. I thought, okay, not a big deal. Anyhow, I thought it was a joke. No big. As time progressed, I noticed passive aggressive jabs. I noticed she was on her phone. The last exchange that I had with her was, "You going to be on your phone the whole time?" Keep in mind, the last time I was there, the first time I was there, the one other time I was there with her, she was on her phone for like a half an hour, and I just kind of sat patiently, which was strange to me because I don't know you. You invited me over here, and we trying to get it popping. You over here on the phone. What is this? But the second time, she's sliding, emailing. I said, "You're going to be on your phone your whole time?" And her response was, "I'm a businesswoman. So, yeah, if I have to return," this is her exact tone, "if I have to return a call, then I'm going to return a call or a text." She said, "Do you have a problem with that?" And my response was, "Well, yes." And this is my exact tone. I love to be controlled in a tense situation. So I know this is my exact tone. So I'm like, this seems pretty tense. She's been tense since I walked in. So let's see. I said, "Well, yes, because I'm giving you my undivided attention. My phone is in my truck." From that point, immediately, she began yelling. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. The woman started yelling, "I'm a businesswoman. I'm a..." As she's yelling, I walk, pick up my keys, walk toward the door. I say nothing. I don't say one other syllable. Quiet. Silence. Absolute. "Where are you going?" She's yelling at me. Keep in mind, I don't know this woman's last name. I had to look at her name before walking through the front door to remind myself what her name is. So for a woman to be this toxic when I'm just seeing her for the second time, and the one other time was me laying pipe and going to the crib because I had shit to do, ma'am, you got deep psychological issues that I will not be traumatized by. Not at all. One, I don't argue. Two, I don't yell. Three, if I did argue or yell, it wouldn't be with a woman that I'm trying to get it popping with. It's gonna be right before some dude. I'm giving you the last warning, bro, before we throw on blows. It's not gonna be with a woman. That's ludicrous to me, absolutely. So in order to protect my own energy, in order to protect my own heart, the Bible says very clearly, protect your heart. From it all things flow. In order to make sure that I'm not traumatized for the next woman that I want to deal with, for the next beautiful woman that has an amazing physique and a good disposition, I leave. This is not the place for me. This is not my environment. You're not the woman I thought you were. Most certainly not the woman I would spend any real time with. So let me answer a few more questions. Glory Days, you asked a question here. I want to answer a couple of questions. I know I've been seeing your question for a minute. I haven't responded. I apologize. So is the gift really for you or for her? It's a great question. A great question. So when you want to give to someone, and we're going way back, but when you want to give to someone and you say, "Hey, I love this beautiful outfit. I love this beautiful shoes. I love this beautiful purse or this amazing food," the person then asks, Glory Days asks, "So is the gift really for you or for her?" I would say it's mutually beneficial. Isn't it? She gets an amazing outfit, amazing shoes, amazing clothes, amazing purse, amazing food. I get the joy of seeing her in it. So the gift is mutually beneficial. It's for both of us, right? This gift, I could have kept this, right? And so if there's one of two thoughts here, that trains of thought where you can go with this, right? Which with your question, one, is that me being selfish? Okay, sure. In fact, I would say absolutely. Why? Because my woman is an extension of me. Remember I told you about that husband energy? When I see my woman as an extension of me, I want to treat her the way I treat myself. If I see a nice shirt, I happen to be the guy who has like 12 shirts in the closet. I used to have well over 400. I started getting rid of them and realizing this is a bunch of crap. I only got one chest. However, there was a time when I loved clothes. I loved fashion. I had a whole room that was just my closet. It was absurd. So every time I saw something beautiful, I wanted to get my woman something beautiful. The same way, if I saw something beautiful for me, I wanted to get myself something beautiful. I love beauty. So is the gift for me or is the gift for her? It's for both of us. Most importantly, it's an extension of me. She's an extension of me. My dog, my 10-pound dog, when I had him with me, he had a wardrobe. Was it for him or was it for me? He's an extension of me. He's my responsibility. So I have no problems treating him with the luxury I treat myself as long as he's deserving of it. Another good question. Glory days. What do you define as a good man? Excellent question. Excellent question. What I define as a good man is a man, number one, who aligns to his sovereignty. Aligns to his sovereignty. He is his own man. He's his own person. He makes his own decisions. He lives with his own consequences. And the thread, common denominator between all of that is that he is considerate of others, of their disposition, situation, character, and exchange in the moment. People aren't who they are just in a moment. They're the culmination. But if you only have 5 minutes exchange with somebody, then I can only judge based off of the 4 minutes prior when we land on that last minute, right? So I think a good man is considerate with the people that he's having conversations with and the exchanges that he's having as well. Most importantly, he's caring. He's loving. He, in his love, in his care, makes sure that there's always the feeling and the expression of that to whomever it is he's in exchange with. That does not mean that a good man is a pushover. Because listen, you push the wrong buttons, you're gonna get the right response, you're gonna get what you're looking for, and then I'm never gonna see you again. Right? That's the part that a good man has to protect himself from. I'll ask more questions here. Yes, I am real. Brandon, thank you. Am I an app? No, I'm not AI, man. What are you talking about? No, I'm not currently married. This is a ring for God. I do. I save the questions for the end. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. That's what's up. Yeah. Do I want kids? More kids? No. No, I'm not currently married. There's a lot of am I currently married questions. Like, no. I've just read through 20 of the same question. I'm not married. No. Again, I'm 46. I am. It's true. That is true. Somebody says they saw me. It's that was me. That was definitely me. Somebody said they saw a guy sprinting with his shirt off down the freeway while it was snowing last year. That was definitely me. That was me. I run in the snow. I love running in the snow. Cold doesn't. I train in the snow. So yes, I do a lot of kind of things you would consider crazy. Yes, but it's training. We got one life to live. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. Brooklyn forever. I appreciate you. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Posy. There's old moms in here. I did, Ash. Yes, I did. Did you go as well? You went to the same high school. It's a long time. You sound like the same from high school. Do it? High school? Yeah. Okay. Just more grown man. So yeah. You married a good man. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. It's important. It's important. Well, first you got to know what your standards are. So she's saying, how can I find a good man? Ma'am, that's an impossible question to answer. How can you find a good man? It's an impossible question to answer. What's a far better question to answer that I can answer, a question that I can answer. That one I can't because you ask me where I be at. I'm at home. I'm at home. I go out sometimes to shoot basketball indoors. I'm in the gym. I'm at restaurants. Or when I'm out in places that you would definitely not be. No, I don't mean the hood. What? Are you kidding me? No. I mean, I'm on the side of a mountain somewhere climbing it, or these pictures are real. The pictures that I posted are real. I'm not. This is not a joke. I'm out there swimming with dolphins, or I'm climbing on the side of a mountain, or I'm genuinely in a river somewhere. I almost died one time in particular. So I kind of stopped going so deep out into the Colorado River because I lost my footing one time and I was like, damn, that was almost it. I got a knot to remember it, but it's healed up now, so I'm good. It was a couple years ago. Okay. I'm sorry for your loss, man. That sounds terrible. No, yeah, I'm gonna block you because you're crazy. So, nah, I don't need you threatening nobody on that live, bro. What's wrong with you? Why you threatening your baby mama? She'll be all right. It's low energy, man. Listen, don't get me wrong. I was there, baby. I was there. Oh my God, I was there. But the energy you put out is the energy you get back. The energy you put out is the energy you get back. You said what? That's a funny question. Am I really that in shape or is it AI? Is that a serious question? You really want to know if it... That's crazy. That people see so much AI. I mean, we're at the stage now in life where in this reality, where we don't know. You don't know what's real, even when someone's talking to you directly. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. The beauty of it is that you all knew me from 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. But yes, I'm definitely real. And my body is very much real. Yes. Brandon's like, show us when you go swimming again. I try, man, but I can't jump in the water with the pool. I mean, I can't jump in the pool water with the camera because I'm just... Yes, I genuinely do run a 4.5 now, right now. If I go outside, I will run your ass down at a 4.5 for sure. In fact, this morning I was actually jogging. I like to run very early in the morning, so 2:00. I think it was like 2:30 this morning. I was running, and there was 2 dogs on the loose, which is strange. I've never seen dogs on the loose in my neighborhood. I mean, I live in basically a retirement community, like an old white people retirement community, which is great. This is great. I love it. But I'm jogging this morning. I run every morning. And it was 2 loose dogs. And I'm never going to forget how funny this was. So one was a pit bull. Another one was, I couldn't tell, it was maybe like a black lab mix, something like that. I saw it because it was dark. It was like 2 something in the morning. So I'm jogging up the street and the dog starts barking and runs up and he stops. I stopped because I saw something running in the dark. And so I stopped to look at him and I see, okay, there's 2 of them. And I'm thinking, well, it's a pit bull and there's another mixed dog back up behind him. I said, well, it's a really bad day for them. Really bad day for them because I have no fear of dogs. And this would not be the first ones that I sent to the grave because they tried to attack me. I love dogs, but am I going to die for you? No. Am I going to take this bite? Nah, maybe one because there's 2 of you, but we're going to have a good time for that for sure. And so I say that to say the pit bull stopped. I stopped and looked. He barked. I barked. My bark is better. And I took off to chase him. I ran straight at him because I know the worst thing you can do is run away. I ran straight at him. But I tell you, I was on his ass. I was on his ass. I got close enough, and to let him know I was there. And then I started hearing his, bark. The other one, the black one, took off. Was behind him. He was like, "Oh shit!" He took off. And then the fawn one. I got close enough where he knew it was real, and then I slowed down. He took off, but he was sure to understand that 1, I can run fast enough that if I can corner him, maybe a problem. And 2, you don't want to corner a dog. I mean, obviously, I didn't really want to fight the dog. I want him to go away. And so you don't want to run so far that you back the dog to the corner. Now he has to turn around and fight you. And now it's a real fight. So nah. But yeah, no, I can run. I actually do run a 4.5. Yeah. How'd you know that? How'd you know that? Who, did I post that somewhere? That's interesting. Okay, I don't know. I guess you're not gonna tell me. Huh? All right. Well, yeah, you're right. I run a 4.5. I run a 4.5. I genuinely do. I last time I clocked up was like maybe like 3 years ago, and I definitely run faster now because I run a certain route where I know just energy. That's a whole nother conversation. But yes, I appreciate it. Okay, everyone. With that, I'm going to let you all go. That's enough of the questions. I look forward to seeing you all again. We'll have further questions. Remember, if you're oh, Stacy, yes, I'm sorry. BuddhaVH1.com. Yes, you can get the books there. Yes, I do coaching as well. BuddhaVH1.com. You'll find all the information there. DigiCappy is my thanks for asking. DigiCappy is my company, yes. So DigiCappy, I'm huge on what DigiCapi.com. DigiCapi.com. My goal is to start. I want to fund $10 million in business and start 1,000 new businesses, small businesses. So what I've started is a company that takes good people and makes them into good businesses, and takes good businesses and makes them better. So if you're a good person, but your credit's not right, your situation is circumstances, they are what they are. We put you into our system. We help heal the credit, get it to where it needs to be. Literally, it usually takes within 2 to 6 months. From there, we get you established with a business. I have been a business strategist for the past 20 years with some of the biggest companies on the planet. PwC, for example, I was a strategist there. That's one of the big four firms on the planet. I was a senior strategist there. So it's not just, I know most do obviously just know me from reality TV. Like, where have I been the past 20 years? I haven't been in a, I haven't been in a cryo chamber and now just waking up. No, I decided to leave Hollywood and get to the business world. And so in being in the business world and learning everything I need to learn in order to make sure that I could help people in the way that I want to help them, that's where I started. So I then, taking you from your personal credit, I then get you your digital presence, which is your business credit. And then from business credit, get you capital up to $250,000 in funding, 0% interest. This is very real. For those of you that want it, feel free. DigiCapi.com, DigiCapi.com. Oftentimes I find on social media, people are, they're more interested in the lessons than they are trying to be business people. So I'm totally okay with that. But just know that the option is available, and I'm all for helping out good people and making this world a better place. Because in the end, that's what it comes down to. There is the other side, men. There's the other side of being with the women that you want and having the life that you want, building that life that you want. The other side of that is a purpose-driven life. It's not about chasing up the panties after a while, man. It's like, that's old, man. You get over that. You do. What if you're the man who's had enough? I think many don't consider that. Like, what's like Will Smith? I love something that he said. He said there's an equal opposite. I'm paraphrasing. An equal opposite to rock bottom. He said that is mountaintop. Mountaintop is, he says, when you got all the money, you got all access, you got everything. He's like, now there's an empty space where you've conquered the world in his mind. You've conquered the world. So what do you do now? And he went through this existential spiritual crisis because of that. And the same thing happened to me, except for me, it was with women. After you fulfill all your fantasies, it's not to say that you can't still have an amazing experience with an amazing woman. That again, it just comes out to be much more selective now, knowing that you're going to have an amazing experience and she's going to have an amazing experience. But once you've gotten to that point where the pursuit of sexual gratification is no longer there, then what? Then what's the other side of that mountaintop? Then you realize there actually is a spiritual space where it's like, all right, it's not about anybody else. It's not about even physical pleasure. It's just about, man, where the spirit goes, and it's infinite. It's infinite. And then when you start to go into that infinity, you see, oh man, here's all these beautiful things that humans have the capability of doing. Here's all these wonderful experiences that people have the ability to endure. Here's all this beautiful future that humans have the potential to embody. What am I doing to help that? What am I doing to move that forward? What am I doing to push that, to move that needle, to push that agenda? And so that's where I'm at. So I want to help. My books, Cultivating the Garden Within, Sister Flow, Sister Earth, Cultivating Power Within, Brother Earth. I'm sorry, Brother Earth, Brother Flame, and their Sister Flow and Sister Sky. So check them out if you like. It'll help you heal. I promise you. It's what I do. I love you. I want you all to win. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week for sure at 7. Maybe we'll do it sometime early, maybe Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. I will let you know. Thanks for joining, and happy healing. I love you. Go win. Life is so short. Don't take it for granted. Do not take it for granted.